Let's talk about what happened, shall we, in North London yesterday. Arsenal taking on Manchester United. A familiar tale maybe for Arsenal fans over recent weeks. Plenty of possession, but not taking their chances. And in the end, it would be Manchester United who advance thanks to a penalty shootout victory. And Mario, I really want to start with you because I want to take you through your emotions as a Dutchman, seeing Xerxes go up and take that all-important fifth penalty. We know the struggles that he's had since he arrived at Old Trafford, what happened in the Newcastle game. How are you feeling? We've lost Mario. We were talking before. I think everyone...
I was nervous.
Yeah, everyone was like...
Never mind Mario.
Oh, no.
Listen, you feel for Xerxes. Arrived at the club as a young player. I'm not sure what the expectation was, but we've all been young players once upon a time, and no one wants to see any young player kind of be handed the booing from your own, the treatment from your own fans as he did a couple of weeks ago. And then, so you feel that this is a moment that you are very nervous, that if he doesn't score, that treatment doubles down. And again, he's a young player, and we have to keep reminding ourselves of that. So, with no horse in the race, I just wanted Xerxes to score for just that reason, because I felt that he didn't deserve that treatment, certainly wouldn't have deserved it twice on. I was as nervous as anybody for him stepping up.
Yeah, I was watching with Kieran and Craig, and it was almost a collective groan from us, Frank, going, oh, no!
No, the thing is, I go back to your question about Xerxes. I don't understand why everybody thinks that because you shoot the fifth, that you have the most pressure, that you have more pressure than the others. I mean, don't you think that the first four, they didn't have any pressure, and if, as they missed, they wouldn't have any problem with that. It's all important. And because you are the last, the star position, as we call, because Ronaldo and Messi and some others, Mbappe wanted to shoot the last to get all the lights, the limelight. So I'm fed up with that. I mean,
no,
the guy
come
who
on,
shoot the
Frank.
first...
This is a kid who's been under a lot of pressure. He could have quite easily not made eye contact. I don't want to take it. I don't want to put myself in that position. Yeah, he's got the character.
Yeah, but it would have been without the first four. It would have been useless.
I know, but why are you... It's a nice story, and you're turning it into, I don't know why people made a big fuss about this. Anyone can take a fifth penalty.
You want to create a nice story about nothing. I mean, that doesn't exist for me. I'm sorry. I've been shooting penalty the first. I was shooting penalty the first. I always scored, but I would have missed. I would have missed. The fifth one would have been useless. We would have lost. So I'm sorry. This story, your beautiful fairy tale, is useless.
Frank's got his jersey on. He's ready to go, man.
I know. It's his Pelly jersey.
Frank's on an island, didn't he?
And Mario, I imagine Frank is very much in the minority in that this was a nice story, isn't it?
I think it's an important story for him, the way he took that penalty, because him being the last, you understand, I know what Frank says, you can count it out or whatever, but for him, we have to remember, Xerxes was the kid that was taken off after 30 minutes, walked into the dressing room, walked back, was a good thing that he did, and it comes in a moment like this, taking the winning penalty. Amaran, he said it himself as well, he said, that's the game that we're playing. Football can change you really quickly. You either go up, or you go down really, for a certain period of time, and then you get into a crucial moment, because you also have to remember, the FA Cup, I mean, Frank and I won it together, and winning the FA Cup, you don't know, it might be the only trophy that Man United can win this season. And that is why it's so important. So I understand we can jump about it, but this penalty was a heavy penalty to take, to go into the third round and making sure you knock out Arsenal.
Even I wanted him to score.
Wow, Stevie.
As he's walking up, I've got the wee guy on the shoulder going, oh, I don't want him to score. And I've got the other wee guy going, oh, no, if he misses this, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah.
So even I, at the end of the day, was like, you know what, I don't mind if he scores.
No.
I felt it. The whole watch.
Who would even...
We've all been young players.
Stevie, overall... What does this mean for Manchester United, if anything, going forward?
Well, I think the biggest thing over the last 2 games is that United have found a group of players that will run hard for each other.
Right.
That's the only thing we've found.
Yeah.
If you want to start talking about the way they play the game and all the other technical things, then, you know, they're not much different. But the one thing that they have shown is that they're going to run an extra yard for each other. This group of players, he seems to have kind of relied on, certainly in the last couple of games, they've got some pride.
And that's a good starting point.
That's the only place you start. You don't get anywhere unless you've got a group together that's willing to back each other up when it matters and run for each other when it matters. And that's what they've found over the last couple of games.
Mario?
Yeah, no, he's right. Because they played like the system that they played, it was identical to the system they played against you. Look, they did well the Liverpool game. They come into this game, did well. We know what they did against City and took them, maybe 4 games of, conceding 2 goals in each game they played. So now coming into this game, I knew the way they played the tactic, everybody knew. They're going to sit, they're going to wait. Arsenal had a tactic of trying to pull them out, going all the way deep in and trying to make them open up. And you saw that there were moments where Man United could push all the way to press and they just waited. And they waited for the break. And the way he took that goal was incredible, Fernandes. And just the way they played, everything worked out. I think there was a game where the 2 captains were very important. And we could see how they demonstrated that. Odegaard in picking the ball up in the first half, trying to get to the pockets. And then Fernandes sitting and waiting and being very disciplined. And that's probably the hardest thing that he's playing right now. Being disciplined, because he's not a player that likes to sit. He wants to go all over the field. But at this point with Amorim, he's not allowing him. He said, you sit and you wait. And when you wait, your moment will come. And he clearly took it.
Meanwhile, for Arteta, another frustrating night. Of course, this game off the back of that defeat against Newcastle in the first leg of the Carabao Cup. It's quite extraordinary. You take a look, they had 49 shots in the last 2 matches. And out of that, they just mastered 1 single goal. This is what Arteta had to say about that.
Incredible how you don't win a game. That's basically to sum up the dominance, the superiority in relation to your opposition, and everything that we did to try to win the game. And that's it. That we didn't deserve. We didn't get what we deserved, clearly. But there is an element that is about putting the ball in the back of the net. They did it once, and with the amount of situations, chances, penalties that we had, we didn't. And we go home extremely sad, but I cannot be prouder of my players on the team, individual, collectively, what they produce. Like on Wednesday against Newcastle, against 2 top teams, it is incredible. But we haven't got rewarded, and that's the downside to it.
Do you feel sorry for him, Frank?
Yes, for the first time I feel sorry, because first he doesn't try to find any excuses. He didn't find that the ball was too light, that the grass was too high, or the ref was too bad, whatever it could have been. But he accepted what happened to his team, and they were unfortunate. They should have won because of the chances that they had. But we go back and we still have to blame him for the fact that he didn't get a striker. And we all agreed, all pundits for ESPN FC show mentioned that he needed a striker. And now he pays the price of not getting the right striker. And that's maybe why he didn't win against Newcastle and yesterday against Manchester United.
But it's not like when you shake up a bottle of Coke, Shaq. Inevitably, at some stage, the lid's going to come off and all these goals are going to come spurting out.
Yeah, but if you don't have a lid, then all you're doing is just wetting yourself down in the end.
What a lovely analogy. Clip that off the Emmys.
I don't get it. I don't feel sorry for Arteta at all. He had to know he needed a striker. Everybody knew Arsenal needed a striker in the summer. Arsenal signed. Yeah. Listen, and to Stevie's point, Jesus comes in, starts a couple of seasons ago, does really well, gets injured, never rediscovers that form. It is glaringly obvious that Arsenal need a striker. You sign Marino. You sign Calafiori. You sign Raheem Sterling. You do not sign a striker. You sign players to cover in positions that you are already well looked after, that you already have similarly styled players playing in. Okay, if you want to make the argument that you need depth and you need competition, fine. But you've got no depth, you've got no competition at centre forward. And now all of a sudden, we're surprised that you get 49 chances but score one? Because you don't have a goal scorer. It's as simple as that. So for me, while to Frank's point, yes, it's at least refreshing to not have some other crazy excuse to try to dissect. The Arsenal's need was glaringly obvious and was not addressed. And that's down to one person.
Right then, Shaq, I'm glad you're on today. What was Raya doing during the penalty shootout?
I'm not sure. I thought, you know, and I watched that penalty shootout a couple of times, and I thought a lot of his actions were really odd. Not only was he going early, but it seemed to be two movements. That he was taking a step early, and then had this big dive. It wasn't even fluent.
Right.
So you telegraph which side you're going early, way too early, and then you commit to it with this big dive. And at this level, okay, maybe the argument is if you go that side and you're right in the corner, he's going to make that brilliant save. But at this level, those players stepping up, see you go early, could just roll the ball into the other side. And rolling it into the other side, you don't have to hit side netting. So I watched that penalty shootout a couple of times, and I really am struggling to understand what Raya's thinking was. And I've spoken about the mentality about penalty shootouts and what goalkeepers, you know, how they approach it. On the one hand, you want to say five penalties, you probably have 2 regular takers in there, 3 who are nervous.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 you're playing for. You're playing for those 3 who are nervous, who are unsure. Xerxes.
But if you rolled out the red carpet.
Exactly. But if you commit to one side, that early, you're in a hiding, you're in absolute hiding to nothing. So it was, I really can't speak because I can't speak to what his mentality going in was, or what that, as I say, it was really a kind of 2-movement dive that was just, you're not going to save anything that way.
Frank, why were you laughing so much at that?
Because I think that was the funniest penalty shootout I ever seen from a goalkeeper. Because, I mean, the third, just look at the third penalty. I think Raya is already outside of the goal when the guy shoots. It's amazing. I've never seen that in my life, where, even the worst penalty taker would have been surprised to see the empty net, the empty goal. That was crazy. The third one is amazing. I don't know what he was doing. It's crazy because he's one of the best goalkeepers this season so far. But on penalty shootout, look at the third one. Look, bye-bye, he's already out. That's absolutely crazy. I can see that. When I was shooting penalties, I had an eye on the ball. But of course, it was like a rhythm. It's like a music. You feel the goalkeeper. And if it goes one way just before, your second step, it's going to go left, right, left. Or maybe it's going to go left, right because it's your third step. It's like a music. It's like a rhythm. And him, he was going like away 10 steps before. And that was, okay, where he's going to go? It's going to be easy. And you just have to put where you choose because he's not there anymore. That's absolutely crazy.
Mario, do you want to add anything?
I saw this, you know what? He would give me some confidence by shooting, I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Because I'm not a good penalty shooter. I will not try, but this guy will really help me out. I would be really grateful because he went early. It was really early seeing that. And the way Shaka highlighted, I didn't even look at it like that, but he really made, that was too early for me.